Hey there, it's Derek here from Pacific Coast Auto in Japan, and we're looking at a 2007 Porsche Cayenne. This one here is the Cayenne S, so you get the V8 engine. In this case, a 4.8 liter, which is the later model version of the engine. The earlier ones were a 4.5 liter. This one has 104,000 kilometers on it. We're just going to do a quick inspection on the car before it leaves over to France. Okay, now the vehicle has a couple of issues with the battery. The battery is dead. We also have a couple of warning things here and some warning lamps, basically all of them, like a Christmas tree. Now this can happen as a result of a dead battery, so we're going to change the battery and see if it fixes it. It says brake proportioning is bad, but the brakes feel fine. The use of the brakes and the pedal feel both feel fine. And then it says ignition lock faulty, but there is no issue with the ignition lock. It seems to be fine. So I'll switch that off for now. Now these things weren't mentioned on the auction inspection sheet, but engine check lamps can come and go. And it does seem very much like it's something having to do with the electrical system not being happy about a dead battery being in there. Okay, the engine here, 4.8 liter V8, like I said, is the larger of the two V8 engines. You can get this car from anywhere between 250 horsepower and 550 horsepower. In this trim here, it's the 385 horsepower, which is certainly enough to move this nearly 2 tons of vehicle. I think even the VR6 engine, which is the the 3.6 liter, 295 horsepower, that's, I think, good enough for the car. The V8 actually can feel pretty quick. Close this off now. I will say oil and coolant both look fine. Let's see if we can get that to glow. There we go. And this is a first generation post facelift, and so you get the more aggressive headlights that give the car a much better look. I believe that it was the same from 2002 until 2010. I think the crossover was 2010 for it. As for the late model, I'm not sure which year it came in, but it's really easy to tell. The early model had much smaller headlights, like 30% of the size, and these ones are a lot more aggressively slanted and give the car a much better look, in my opinion. Okay, so before we get into the condition report, like me checking the condition, I'm just going to go over the auction inspection sheet here. So 2007 Cayenne S, auction grade 4. It says interior C, exterior C. I think that's being really harsh on both interior and exterior. The interior has a little bit of an issue with the console and a saggy headliner, but the exterior is very close to perfect. So I'll show you that when we get to it. Has 104,693 kilometers. The sales points here are the leather seat and left-hand drive. Yes, we are in Japan, a right-hand drive country, but this is a left-hand drive, as is pretty common with a lot of German vehicles. So windshield rock chip, interior scratched, dirty, and wear. Seat wear, headliner's saggy, various scratches, dents, scuffs, and the wheels are scratched. Has a few dents in the roof. I actually have a look up here. You can find like this. Now it is an SUV. That means you don't really get to see the roof that much. So it's not a huge problem, but it is there. It's worth noting. And this is crack on the front face. I'm going to show you that too before we get into all of the exterior. It's very minor. Usually a crack is much bigger than this. Okay, so let's do the once around now. You can see it in the exterior. The condition of the paint is good. It's nice and bright and glossy. It looks like either it was kept indoors or at least away from the sun. The wheels on here kind of look a little on the small side, but those are 19s. I guess these days the Cayennes probably have 20s at the smallest. I actually don't know, but it seems like as time goes on, the wheels get bigger and bigger. Okay, so it's a 5-seater inside. We'll go to the interior as soon as we're done the exterior. And yeah, I think overall it's a pretty good SUV. They are very popular here in Japan, so there are we're in the jungle. There are a lot of them, meaning that you have your pick. You can get them with extremely low mileage or higher mileage. You basically get to pick a price and then get a vehicle within that price range. And I think because of how many of these there are, they're not that expensive. They tended to fall in price pretty quickly. So I'm just pointing out here, the headlights are a little cloudy, and so cloudy as in the finish has gone bad. You can polish those back up, but also the seal has been resealed. So maybe there was an issue with leaking inside this. So this headlight might need to be replaced. This one over here didn't have issues with the sealing, but it does have like some clear coat peel in some places. And then a marker light down here and a fog light down here. There's that crack on the front bumper from afar. And yeah, it doesn't show up that much. There's a few minor rock chips here and there on the front fascia, but not too bad at all. Now take a look at this. You get, from the factory, brake cooling fins. That's cool. Okay, and then coming up the side here, it's all looking super gorgeous. Really nothing to complain about at all. We have a little bit of cloudiness in the aluminum here, but you can clean that off. Get different taillights again with the post facelift, and different styling in the bumpers. So you get this really nice dual exhaust. And the car, even with the stock exhaust, does have a growly, aggressive tone for the muffler, or for the exhaust. Okay, that's a little bit discolored, but I think you'll be able to clean that off. And then it has a rear camera from Carzeria, and a Cayenne S badge in the very popular Porsche font. Coming down this side again, really good. So basically that crack on the front bumper is the worst of it. So I have no idea how this got a grade C at the auction. Typically something like this would be a grade B. There is going to be a little bit of variance from one inspector to the next, or one auction to the next. More from one inspector to the next than one auction to the next. I don't really have any hated auctions, but some inspectors can be a little bit harsher than others. Now going to the interior, we'll start with the trunk. This one, unlike some of them, doesn't have a power lift back. It is just manual version. Now this is based on the same platform as the Touareg and the Volkswagen Touareg and the Audi A8. Q7. And the Q7 is a 3-row off of the same architecture. But here you only get a 5-seater, just like the Touareg. What that means is a giant trunk, definitely usable for a trip or for family use. I think most of the case for this vehicle is like dad owns a 911 and then the rest of the family gets the Cayenne. Or, you know, it might not be a 911, it could be an Audi R8 or something like that. But it is pretty common as like the regular family hauler. Could be mom that has like the sports car and dad gets this. Sometimes it is. But let's be honest, most of the people who are making impractical car decisions tend to be the men in the family. I see that in our metrics for the videos that we watch. We are like 98% men watching this. So if you are a female watching this, shout out to you. You should be buying more cars from us. We have some female customers. We just don't have a lot of female viewers on the videos, and most of them go toward the campers as well. Okay, so the under seat lighting there is kind of nice looking. The seats here are great. They're very, very nice seats if you're into leather seats. Leather's the only option. And I think you can also get a beige leather interior too if you don't like the black. Okay, because it's a Volkswagen, I mean it is a Porsche, but truth be told, it's made by Volkswagen. You get little Volkswagen-y things like this. This bad boy's not closing. This one here appears to be fine, but the bottom one's not closing. Get a little tray in here, and then vents for the AC. No cup holders, is that right? And then the finish has deteriorated, leaving kind of like easy to scratch material there. And the ashtray, perfect for the children sitting in the back. And yeah, just get these cup holders here, those two, and then no other auxiliary cup holders anywhere. A lot of these SUVs you're going to find have lots and lots of cup holders, so more than just the two is pretty common. They don't even like, it is a three seats in the back here, so the center person doesn't get a cup holder. I suppose. The other finicky issue with the interior is the console has a similar type issue of not clicking in. Check that out. And yeah, very dusty in here. Not dusty, like gravelly. Toyota Noah is coming. Or Voxy. The grill on that thing is impressive, isn't it? I'll just come in from this side then. So, this console box doesn't close. And because there's a spring in it, it'll stay open. It looks like this piece here might be bad because somebody's already unscrewed it. And it was just kind of resting there. I don't see anything that looks broken, but I don't think it should be too hard to kind of fix. Whatever is broken can probably be replaced fairly easily. Until then, you're going to have to put up with that. Now, the interior here, great. These seats are nice and comfortable. The seat was in the full tall position when the car came in, and so it probably was driven by a female. Ignition lock faulty. Don't scream at me. I hope that goes away when we replace the battery, but it might not. There are some mild scratching in here. You get your cup holders there. Mountain version, or like there's a mode for mountains and a mode for the highways. And of course it's 4-wheel drive. And then you can have manual shift yourself, Tiptronic, which is actually Tiptronic. Like a lot of people call manual shift automatic Tiptronic, but Tiptronic is a brand name from Porsche. And so only Porsche is the official Tiptronic. We have heated seats in the front here, and then an aftermarket Navi screen with its own little surround piece that gets put in here. There's a bit of peeling paint on it. The AC works fine. Open this and you have extra controls, and there's no bad smell in the interior. Something like this is less likely to be... Let's see. Volkswagen, come on. Don't want to break anything, but that's not coming out. Unless you break it. Well, most certainly hasn't been smoked in because you can't open the ashtray. But yeah, I feel like a Pajero, Hilux Surf, Delica are very common to be smoked in. Once you get to the German cars, less likely. Might have something to do with the, people who are wealthier and are more willing to spend money on a car like this are probably less likely to be cigarette smokers, but who knows. Now, steering wheel's all in excellent condition, and no power folding mirrors, which is a little bit weird, but I guess that's true. And you get a key that looks like a Cayenne. See? It has headlights and stuff. Kind of fun. Okay, so the battery of this is strangely below the passenger seat, an odd location for a battery, but after I shoot this video, I'm going to have to check the battery number and then potentially order a battery for it. Okay, that's going to be the end of the video here. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. You can check out our website. There's a link to that in the description, or you can send us an email and we'd be happy to answer anything that you need. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day.